So many of y'all ask about pillowcase dresses for OCC, for Operation Christmas Child shoe boxes. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, I have 2 pieces of fabric, and I'm going to tell you what I have and how I did it. This is a size 4T dress. See where you can, make sure you can see it. I started with a rectangle piece of fabric, 26 inches long and 21 inches wide, 2 pieces. Okay, I need one for the front and one for the back. Then I had to cut out the armholes. So I went down 6 inches and over 2 inches. I drew my lines and that's what I cut. So this is what I have, okay? We're gonna sew differently than we normally do because we're trying to make this dress with as little fabric as possible so that we can make as many of them as we possibly can to serve as many children. So we're gonna have the pretty sides on the outside. Pretty side, pretty side. Sew down this side and then sew down this side. After that, we're gonna turn it inside out and we're gonna stitch it again, and that's gonna give us what they call a French seam. So the raw edges are actually hidden inside the interior of the dress. You'll see. But stitch down this side and then stitch down this side. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop.
I promise this is all going to make sense in a minute. We're trying to use as little fabric as possible so we can make as many dresses as possible to go in all of our boxes, or so you can make all the dresses for your children, grandchildren, whoever you're sewing them for. And if we don't sew it this way, then we'll need to line the dress.
Now we've sewn this. We're going to turn it inside out. We've turned it inside out, and now we're going to sew down this seam again. Same 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. And that's gonna hide your raw edge on the inside. I'll show y'all in just a minute. But you're gonna do that on this side and then again on the other side. On this side of your dress and then on this side of your dress.
Now, y'all know I love a good patchwork project, but I do not recommend making these patchwork because then you will have all of those raw seams on the inside of your dress. I do, however, recommend that you make 1 million of these because they're super easy, they're super fast, and there's nothing more adorable on a little girl than a pillowcase dress.
So now, if you look on the inside, you have really pretty seams and no raw edges. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is fold the bottom of our dress up about 1/2 inch, and we're gonna zigzag all the way around the bottom of our dress, and that's gonna get rid of that raw edge.
If you're not comfortable eyeballing it, just fold it up and measure it and iron it, and then that will give you a guide to go by. And zigzag on the raw edge of your fabric all the way around, and that's gonna put a pretty nice hem in your dress, and it's gonna take care of the fraying, and that's what we're trying to do.
Now for our underarms, under our arms, we're going to zigzag this edge all the way down to the side seam and then back up this side. So we're going to zigzag here and here. Just the raw edge, we're just going to run our zigzag stitch right along there. And that's going to give us kind of like what a serger gives us. It's just going to keep the fabric from fraying.
All we're trying to do here is keep the fabric from raveling underneath their arms with use and washing. So just zigzag the very raw edge, and that's going to take care of that.
Now, we've zigzagged both underarms. So this is what we've done so far. We've done a French seam on both sides. We've zigzagged the bottom to get rid of that raw edge, and we've zigzagged underneath both underarms from here and here. Now we're going to make the casing for our ribbon so the dress will pull together and be nice and pretty. So we're going to fold this over about 1.5 inches. Do you see that? You can iron it if you want to. I'm not ironing mine, but you can definitely iron yours if you want to. And I'm going to zigzag that down on both sides, on the front of the dress and on the back of the dress.
I did mine 1.5 inches because I'm using 1 inch wide ribbon. If you're using something wider, you may want to make your casing a little wider. Or if you're using ribbon a little more narrow, you may want to make your casing a little more narrow.
I have 2 pieces of grow grain ribbon. I said gross grain, and somebody emailed me and told me I was pronouncing it wrong. Sorry. Regular ribbon from the Hobby Lobby. It's 1 inch wide, 36 inches long. I'm going to feed 1 piece through the front and 1 piece through the back.
Speaking of email, don't forget to email your projects to hometownquiltcompany@gmail.com for show and tell. We all want to see. Show and tell is our favorite. My favorite, your favorite, everybody's favorite.
I've tied one side. Now we're going to tie the other side. So if you singe the edges of your ribbon, it will not fray. Mine are not singed. They also make a bunch of products that will keep your ribbon from fraying. The singeing is my favorite, but use whatever you want to. And you can use a different kind of ribbon. You could use satin ribbon or whatever you have on hand. You have a precious, precious pillowcase dress for your Operation Christmas Child shoebox, or your grandkids or kids or whoever you want to make them for. Y'all are going to have questions about all of the sizes. I've written all of the dimensions for the sizes down, and I'm going to hold them up so you can take a screenshot. So this is 2T. Size 2T is 23 by 20 inches. You're going to go over 2 inches and down 5.5 inches for each underarm. 3T is 24 by 20.5. You're going to go over 2 inches and down 6 inches for that underarm. 4T is the one we just made, and 5T is 27 by 21.5, and you're going to go over 2.5 inches and down 7 inches for that underarm. Now, I can't wait to see all of the pillowcase dresses you make for OCC and all the little people in your life. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.